Let me ask you a question. How big is the stick you're carrying around? When did you pick it up? Did you find it on the floor? Was it handed to you from your mother, from an uncle, from a sibling? And how hard do you hit yourself with it? All of us have a stick that we carry around that we beat ourselves up with when we're not following through or achieving what we say we want to achieve. And I want to propose to you that this stick is not actually helping you get any closer to the thing that you want, that it is in fact keeping you stuck exactly where you are. And I know that you're using this stick as a way to punish yourself for not following through, because that punishment, in that pain, in that moment where you're beating yourself over the head for not going to the gym or not following through on your work that you had to do this week, that you feel like you're getting yourself back in line. I would challenge and guess that you actually fear that if you were to put this stick down, you might lose your motivation to follow through at all. That without this stick, you may go so far off the rails that you'd put on 50 pounds, or you'd completely end up homeless on the street because you never show up to work again, or you'd never follow through on doing the things that you said, that you'd never go to the gym again if you didn't have this stick to keep you in line, beat yourself up. Put it down. Put it down. Because let me tell you something about this stick. It's part of a cycle that's keeping you stuck exactly where you are. The cycle looks like this. Desired outcome, take an action, implement the action, maybe succeed for a little while. Eventually a challenge presents itself that maybe you fall off a little bit, and then you beat yourself up. You beat yourself up to the point in which you feel so badly that you start the action over again. But when you use the stick as part of the cycle, most of the time, you just repeat the same action with the same implementation, maybe a little bit more force. So if you put the stick down, you have another choice. That choice looks like this. The stick represents punishment for failure. But what if there was no failure? What if failure was only feedback and information about the part of the cycle that worked or didn't work? Maybe the action that you took was the completely wrong action. Maybe the implementation strategy that you took was the completely wrong implementation strategy, or the wrong amount of implementation. Maybe it was too big a step. Maybe it was too small a step. Maybe the challenge that presented itself to you was an opportunity to reevaluate the action and the implementation, but you never saw that because you were too busy beating yourself up with your stick. So if you put the stick down and you look at failure as feedback, here's what that cycle gets to look like instead. Take action, implement the action, notice a challenge and either fail or not, and then instead of the stick, we've got this evaluation, like a magnifying glass, to zoom in on what worked and what didn't. Hey, maybe actually that action was completely wrong, that completely cutting out calories or cutting down calories and cutting out fat actually creates more cravings. Maybe it was the implementation, that in fact trying to go to the gym 7 times this week was too many. You weren't ready for that level of action yet. So if you scaled it back to 3, you'd have more success. And with more success, more consistently, you actually see and generate better results. So it works like this. You can break a cycle at any point. And breaking a cycle at any point changes the entire outcome because it feeds into itself. But most of us are only used to breaking the cycle at the beat yourself up at the stick point. And that leads us just to keep going back through the same cycle over and over again. But what if we just took that stick, put it down, and decided to evaluate feedback instead of punish ourselves for failure? Then you open up to all this new choice. And the measure of success that you're able to create for yourself is not by your ability to follow through on a decision. It is your ability to be flexible in the choices that you have. The more stuck you feel, I guarantee you see less choices for yourself. And the more open you feel, the more choices you have for success. So do me a favor, in this moment, right here, right now, commit to putting your stick down at least to evaluate the impact that it has. Pass this video on to a friend. I guarantee they have a stick they need to put down as well. Share with me your commitment to put your stick down, and always reach out for support, to have a conversation about the impact that could have for you.